Welcome to SAT TV News. Thanks for joining us. I am Alicia George. In our top stories, Dominica hosts 3-day cybersecurity workshop. Prime Minister Skerrit among heads discussing the vulnerabilities of CARICOM at CARICOM Japan Summit. From the region, Guyanese man jailed for raping 8-year-old. And internationally, 1 dead and 13 injured after lightning strikes at Southern California beach. In sports, Point Michelle Football Academy crowned DFA's Under-17 champions. Details of these will follow. Welcome back. A number of stakeholders on Monday, July 28th began a 3-day workshop on cybersecurity aimed at understanding cybercrime forensics, strategy development, and the process involved in the establishment and management of a Computer Incident Response Team CIRT. This was organized by the Ministry of Information, Telecommunications, and Constituency Empowerment in collaboration with the Ministry of National Security, Immigration and Labor and the Establishment, Personnel and Training Department. Cybersecurity workshop facilitator Sven Skiviski says the workshop will focus on setting up cybersecurity measures.
I think it's vital. If we think about developing the democracy, developing the business environment, you cannot avoid discussion about the cybersecurity in all wider spectrum of the cybersecurity. We talk about forensics quite a lot. We talk about the risk environment quite a lot. We talk about wide understanding where there is an impact of cybersecurity towards the business environment of certain country, like example of the Estonia. So this is the aspect we will try to share with colleagues over here.
The workshop is being jointly facilitated by experts from the Organization of American States, OAS, through its Cybercrime Unit, the Inter-American Committee Against Terrorism, CICTE, and the Commonwealth Telecommunications Organization, CTO. In addition to the international team of experts, there are other regional and international personnel who will be providing support to the workshop, such as the Caribbean Telecommunications Union, CTU, CARICOM's Implementation Agency for Crime and Security Impacts, and the Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority, ECTEL. Brian Dito, Assistant Program Manager of the Cybersecurity Program, informed the opening ceremony that stakeholders from the Police Force, Director of Public Prosecution, Financial Intelligence Unit, and the Ministry of Telecommunications are participating.
At the end of the day on Wednesday, we hope to have essentially a kind of skeleton framework of a national cybersecurity policy or strategy outlined, after which we will go back to the drawing board and actually put pen to paper and draft the strategy and then submit it to Dominican authorities for their review, comments, adjustments. At the same time, we hope that in the kind of forensic and incident response track, similarly, there is sort of a roadmap for how Dominican authorities will progress in formatting a national incident response capability, and also what some of the functions will be, who the key players will be. And then we're hoping also, and this is kind of one of the loftier goals, that the Dominican authorities will gain some sort of expertise in collecting, analyzing, and maintaining chain of custody over digital evidence.
The workshop will come to a close on Wednesday, July 30th, 2014. Prime Minister and Minister for Foreign Affairs Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit is in Trinidad and Tobago attending the first CARICOM Japan Summit, which got underway on Monday. Honorable Skerrit is accompanied by Minister for Employment, Trade, Industry and Diaspora Affairs, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre, and Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Karen Prevost. The one-day summit featured heads of government of the Caribbean community meeting with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The Japanese Prime Minister on Monday held bilateral meetings with each country represented at the summit. The summit's agenda issues for discussion included the vulnerabilities of CARICOM and the necessary cooperation for its sustainable growth, strengthening exchanges and the bonds of friendship, and deepening cooperation in the international arena. Since 1993, CARICOM and Japan have enjoyed friendly relations, and this summit signals a quantum leap in their engagement, as it is the first time that a Japanese Prime Minister is visiting the region. It is being held during the designated CARICOM-Japan Friendship Year to observe 2 decades of relationship in diverse fields such as culture, trade, and tourism, and a special logo has been created to symbolically express this relationship. Dominica established diplomatic relations with Japan in 1978. Dominican motorists will have to exercise more vigilance to ensure they get value for their dollar as fuel prices increased on Monday. Acting Director of Trade Mathan Walter told SAT-TV News this is as a result of increasing gas prices on the international market. The fixed price for gasoline moved from $15.62 to $16.05 per gallon, a 43 cents increase, while diesel and kerosene increased by 22 cents.
Gas prices are always dependent on the calculation contingent on world prices. So therefore, as a result, for example, of the turmoil in the Middle East, this could constitute an increase in world prices, which would therefore be reflected in the price of fuel in Dominica. According
to Walter, the new prices are as follows. Gasoline wholesale price $15.35, retail price $16.05, diesel wholesale price $13.83, retail price $14.48, and kerosene wholesale price $12.47, retail price $12.95. He noted he is unaware how long the cost of fuel will remain at this price. However, the calculations are done every 4 weeks based on the world prices, so it could either go up or down.
This is not a Dominica thing. All across the region, the prices of fuel has increased. In Grenada, for example, the retail price of fuel is $16.23. In Montserrat, the retail price of fuel is $16.87. In St. Kitts and Nevis, the retail price is $16.79. In Barbados, if there is a conversion from the Bajan dollar to the EC dollar, we would have the price of fuel retail being $18.40 EC. So it is across the length and breadth even of the Caribbean region and the world that there has been an increase in the price of fuel.
Walter also dispelled the claim that Dominicans are being charged more for fuel among the Eastern Caribbean countries. On Monday, a number of young people began a 1-week summer training program at the Goodwill Parish Hall. The program, organized by VF Inc., dubbed Youth Series 2014, is being held under the theme Empowering Our Youth for a Better Tomorrow. Organizers say the summer program aims to positively nourish the minds of the island's young people. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Dr. Valda Henry, CEO of VF Inc., told the participants that they should not be afraid to embrace their positivity.
You must not be afraid to be your best selves, because that's what we are called to do and to be our best selves. And so that whole program is aimed at ensuring that you never forget that fact, that your whole aim and your purpose is to be the best you.
According to Dr. Henry, although the program is the last to begin during the summer, she is satisfied with the turnout.
We started 7 years ago. The only summer program that existed was the Youth Division summer program. 7 years on, I cannot keep up with the number of summer programs that are being conducted. I have lost count. But it doesn't matter, because there are lots of children. But every year the FAQ series gets a full house.
This year, the program is engaging more than 100 young boys and girls and 22 volunteers. VF Inc. Youth Series targets students from grade 6 to the Dominica State College. The students are placed in 3 groups, juniors, intermediate, and seniors, and the program is customized to meet the needs of the groups. The summer training program being held at the Goodwill Parish Hall will conclude on August 2nd. Welcome back. The Esprit family of Bells is now grieving following the death of their 14-year-old son, Denny Esprit Jr., also of Bells. Jr. died following an accident in the Heights of Bells on Friday, July 25, 2014. According to Police Public Relations Officer Inspector John Carpman, at about 1:30 p.m. on that day, Esprit was in the company of his father, Denny Esprit Sr. of Bells, who was cutting a tree with a chainsaw. The tree fell and struck Esprit on his head, knocking him unconscious. He was transported to the Princess Margaret Hospital Accident and Emergency Department, where he was examined and pronounced dead by a medical practitioner. A coroner's inquest has convened and a post-mortem will follow. Meanwhile, investigations are continuing. Come August 1st, Dominicans who order small items will breathe a sigh of relief as Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, in his 2014-2015 National Budget Address, announced measures aimed at improving the efficiency of clearing courier packages through the de minimis system. He noted these measures will aid towards expansion of the economy. With the advent of online internet shopping and the increase in courier business, the Prime Minister said this necessitates a change in the procedures utilized in clearing such items.
Generally, people who utilize courier services anticipate receiving the goods within a short period of time. Customs and port procedures must take this fact into consideration. The current practices by which courier packages are cleared have not kept pace with the growth of that type of activity. A number of administrative and legislative changes have been identified to address this matter. Of specific significance is the introduction of a de minimis system. Under such a system, goods imported below a certain value do not attract any taxes and fees, and the clearance procedures, including data requirements, are minimized.
The Prime Minister stated a new system will be established for the immediate release of goods valued up to CIF EC $150 in keeping with the already established procedure of processing gift packages.
During the sorting process, goods valued at CIF EC $150 and less will be released to the courier agents instead of being retained by customs for duty purposes. The de minimis system shall not apply to commercial goods, tobacco products, or alcoholic beverages.
The Customs Division and the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority will also introduce new administrative procedures which will facilitate the ease of processing the clearing of goods on the port. The change will facilitate businesses and individuals in clearing goods in a more efficient manner. The new de minimis systems comes into effect from August 1st, 2014. Revenue foregone from the new measure is estimated at $435,000. The official launch of the Caribbean Performing Arts Federation CPAC on Saturday evening has brought members of the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, one step closer to its goal of deepening relations among Caribbean states. Since the establishment of the OECS on June 18, 1981, the organization has grown to include other Caribbean islands and has supported several programs like CPAC, which would allow people of the region to act in unison. Speaking at the launch, Chairperson Marc-Julie Blas noted CPAC reflects the purpose of the OECS integration movement in the development of arts and culture.
The Caribbean Performing Arts Federation is one of the examples of an idea, a concept that will be presented to you tonight that has in fact seen the benefits that can be derived from the OECS Economic Union and for the cultural and social development of our people.
Blas hopes that people will appreciate the potential impact of CPAC now and in the long term. Meanwhile, Operations and Programs Director, Grenadian Sandra James, feels that people of the Caribbean fail to realize the economic potential in entertainment. She therefore called on parents to support their children when they show an interest in entertainment as a career.
We need to change the mindset of parents when kids show an interest in the cultural industries to tell them, boy, you can't make a money doing that. We have to show them how they can make a viable career from that.
She also stressed that talent is not enough and that artists must be familiar with the business of entertainment, an area which CPAC will engage in for the next 5 years. The existence of prejudice and exclusion between small islanders and small island states has prompted the establishment of the Caribbean Performing Arts Federation, CPAC. Irvin Durant, Chief Executive Officer of CPAC, feels that the Federation will level the playing field for Caribbean people, particularly musicians and performers. He made the remark following the official launch of CPAC on Saturday evening.
Whether it's CARICOM or OECS, there's a lot of prejudice and segregation and exclusion that goes on. And in the field of the arts, just creative sector, creative industries, whether it's visual arts or performing arts, a lot of people get excluded.
Duran noted that the overall aim of CPAP is to expand the market for the Caribbean people.
We wanted to be able to see that our fellow artists, creators we call them, would have a fair ground, a platform where everything was given with a fair balance to the big islander or the small islander. And whether it was Anguilla or Dominica or St. Vincent, we still had the same opportunity, and we had that added opportunity to expand our market.
Duran noted that measures are being put in place for schools on the island to get further involved in performing arts.
Even at the schools, where we are hoping that we can collaborate with the government or the ministries of education to bring performing arts in a more vibrant way into the schools. We're looking at school programs taking up more, or being more occupied with performing arts subjects.
CPAP operates as a membership-based non-profit organization and seeks to pool the talents of Caribbean artists, providing them with an equal opportunity to succeed. Casting calls for models and sleepless nights when creating designer outfits are over as the hype of Fashion Week 2014 dies down. The second Fashion Week event concluded at the Anchorage Hotel on Saturday night with a runway show featuring models handpicked by event coordinator Glenda Lugay. According to Lugay, despite inclement weather, the show was an overall success.
The rain did not do too much. I think it was a step and 2 and 3 and 4 from the last show, and one of the things I really would like to get across, we get better. Although I am quite disappointed in how the Ministry of Tourism and Discover Dominica authorities embraced the event, it still went on.
The collection of pieces for the show was a collaborative effort of designer Carla Amor Shillingford and other local seamstresses. Lugay said the few individuals who came on board were excited about participating. However, she felt that more persons should have embraced the opportunity.
We had Miss Amor, and we had a few local designers that was very much interested. But again, in Dominica, people are very slow on getting involved, getting their work ready. As you see, there are people who was coming in late. The show's supposed to start at 8. We start at 8:30, and there were people coming in after 9.
Lugay is optimistic that the event will grow into something better in its next staging. Following the event, the pieces were auctioned off to interested bidders.